Florida doubles down on school choice, magic mushrooms, and the dumbest bill in America. This is Mark Fisher, and welcome to Mark and the Millennials, featuring millennials Andrew Fulginiti and Adam Katora, our producer who's filling in for Ryan the Squirrel Brady. Welcome, guys. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Happy to be here.
Absolutely. So first, we have AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, has discovered garbage disposals. And we have a clip on this. You got to hear it to believe it.
I am told this is a garbage disposal. I've never seen a garbage disposal. I never had one in any place I've ever lived. It is terrifying. I don't know what to use it for.
Venezuela, North Korea, that's what you look.
Like food scraps? Like, is this environmentally sound? I don't know.
So annoying.
I mean, and your generation likes this stuff.
Well, that's why it's annoying to me. I listen to that every time, and I'm like, she's gotta be playing. Like, I think she's playing dumb, like intentionally, because I feel like she's not. She's an educated human being, and our generation is the generation of Google. You can Google anything, and she's like, I have no idea what it's for. It's like, well, Google would tell you if you just typed it into your phone that you're using to videotape a hole in your sink.
I also gotta say, what do you use a garbage disposal for? Maybe dispose of garbage? it seems a little bit
They tried to make it easy, yeah.
But is it environmentally sound? That's what she wants to know. I
don't know. I think the Green New Deal is completely turned on its head now. So back to the drawing board.
They may have to amend the bill now that they wouldn't vote for. I mean, it might be necessary, right?
Right. Yeah.
The Green New Garbage Deal. So next up, we have Rick DeSantis. The governor of Florida signs a sweeping school choice expansion law. And this is an incredible thing. We do have a clip on this. This is worth listening to because this is really great policy. Let's listen to this.
Governor Ron DeSantis' top priority is giving low-income kids vouchers to attend private schools is now the law in Florida. The legislator passed the bill during the legislative session, and today the governor signed it at a church school in Miami Gardens. Our senior political reporter Michael Putney was there.
The student choir at William Kerwin Jr. Academy rocked the house with gospel tunes.
I'm a testament to the power of school choice.
A graduating senior gave a moving testimonial to the power of a state scholarship.
And I stand here today because this is the right stand to take for our children.
Some Democratic lawmakers stood shoulder to shoulder with Republicans in support of private school vouchers.
What this will do, in one fell swoop, you're offering more opportunity for thousands and thousands of low-income families here in the state of Florida, and that's a big, big deal.
The Family Empowerment Scholarship Program will pay for 18,000 students to attend private and religious schools at a cost to the state of $136 million a year.
Our schools in particular, of course, are going to benefit as well because our community makes a choice to send, many of our community make a choice to send their kids to private Jewish day schools.
These children attend a Seventh-day Adventist Christian school, but children of all faiths can attend religious or private schools with the vouchers, worth between $6,000 to $9,000 each.
All right, it's done.
A victorious governor signed the bill into law. Governor Jeb Bush signed a private school voucher bill, but the state Supreme Court found it unconstitutional. Now, Governor Ron DeSantis says the newly constituted Supreme Court, with 3 of his justices, may see it differently.
And so I'm confident it's constitutional.
So the governor says it is constitutional, but in the end, the state Supreme Court certainly is going to have to decide this for the final time.
Well, there you have it. The poorest of the poor get to have school choice in the state of Florida. They are expanding it. Jeb Bush put this into place initially, and I think Governor Scott expanded it, and now Governor DeSantis, has expanded it. And here we have, what do you guys think about this? Because obviously the left hates this idea.
I love the name of the bill, the Family Empowerment Scholarship. I mean, because that's literally what it is. It's empowering families to choose, whereas the people that fight against bills like this, they're pro-teacher versus pro-family and pro-student.
Absolutely. Adam, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just absolutely amazing. You heard that clip in there, the girl getting up and saying, I'm a testament to school choice. That's It's hard to get kids excited about education in the first place. And when you're stifling kids who want to go on and do great things, it's terrible. And now the kids have the chance to go on and do great stuff. That's
because if you're going to a failed school already, the school is failed because it's graded as an F, and it's also unsafe. And now you have an opportunity to send your child to any school that you want your child to go to, including a private or religious school. I mean, this is to me a uniquely conservative and Republican idea. The idea that you give people more opportunity at the starting gate. Of course, Bernie Sanders wants to equalize outcomes at the finish line. We want to make things more equal at the starting line, right? I mean, isn't that the whole idea?
Yeah, I think Adam hit it. I think it's pretty impressive when you hear students talking about that, because the alternative is saying, hey, we can't. The argument that you hear in states across the country is you can't use public funds, for something like this for other schools. Whether like in Florida, they're doing it for private schools, and that argument's just wrong in my opinion, because you're not using the public funds for other schools. You're using the public funds for the students, right? It's about the students, and if you're going on the other side of that argument, you're effectively trapping students in those schools
just because failed schools.
Yeah, because your argument is, well, they can't use my money for something like that.
And let's be clear, the left is trying to confuse people about what Florida is doing, because this bill specifies that these vouchers have to go to poor to lower middle income parents and children. It doesn't go to rich kids, because they've already got great schools and they have options because they can afford. This goes to the people that can least afford it. It's an incredible idea, and it's spreading across the country. I mean, Pennsylvania's doing this now. Pennsylvania has an earned income tax credit because they're afraid of basically the unions suing them and taking it to the state Supreme Court in Pennsylvania and overturning it. So instead, it's basically, hey, if you have a company in Pennsylvania, you want to give money, and you can deduct that money from your taxes, and it can go to someone who wants to send their kid to private school. So it's not publicly funded, even though I guess they're going to still make the argument in Pennsylvania that it is publicly funded because the taxpayer dollars aren't going to the state. I mean, this is a lame argument on the left. It really is.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how the Florida State Supreme Court handles this one, because if the law is upheld, this could, more rapidly sweep across other states to implement this. Because I like the idea that the public funds aren't, you can't say, oh, they have to go to this school. It's like, no, they have to go to the students.
Absolutely.
And let them make the choice as to which school to attend, but the money is for the students. It's not for the schools.
And this brings the Republican Party back to the party of Lincoln, whereby we are going to the folks who can least afford and least help themselves, and we're helping them, giving them a helping hand. And it's interesting because DeSantis ran against Gillum. And Gillum ran, who's an African-American, Gillum ran to end this program in Florida. And he's African-American. He wanted to end it. And 23% of African-American women voted for DeSantis, and that actually put him over the top and made him governor on this issue. It's extraordinary that this happened this way. And this should be instructional for every Republican nationwide, no matter if you're in a blue state or red state. We should start doing this and expanding this, but target it. I want to make this clear. Target it to lower income and middle income students to give them an opportunity and a helping hand up. Don't you guys agree?
Well, it puts those lower income and middle income students on the same level playing field from the beginning that the upper income students have. Those higher income students have the ability to choose what schools they want to go to, and they can exercise that choice because of their income.
Absolutely.
And so now it just puts those lower incomes on the same playing field. You're not levelizing the finish line. You're just giving everybody the same chance from the start.
Exactly. And they have an opportunity, and here's the opportunity, make of it what you want. But the other alternative is you keep them in this failed school that's super dangerous, and basically you have another generation incarcerated as a result of not having the ability to learn because the schools are so bad. So next subject up, we have Chris Hughes. He's the co-founder of Facebook. He says that the company's too powerful and should be broken up. I mean, Facebook has 2.4 billion users. And Hughes, who was Mark Zuckerberg's roommate in Harvard, helped, I guess, was the co-founder. At least that's what he says he is. I think he was just lucky that he was in the same room with Mark Zuckerberg. There's a clip on this with Chris Hughes. Let's hear it.
This is me back in my college days. And this is my roommate, Mark. Together, we founded Facebook in 2004. Now, 15 years later, I think Facebook has grown too big and too powerful.
Way too powerful, way too big. And, you know, now he's an expert, of course. And I think that's kind of, what do you guys think? Is Facebook too powerful? Is it too big? They have 2.4 billion users. What do they control? I mean, come on.
I'm conflicted.
Millennials don't even use Facebook. I mean, that's part of the problem. But Facebook does own Instagram, correct?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so you use Instagram.
I also think it's kind of suspect that he says this after he's been out of the company for such a long time. If he was in Mark Zuckerberg's position, would he be saying the same thing there still?
Right,
exactly.
Yeah. I also hated that in I think CNN reporting of this story, they said that his answer to fixing it was, well, we need to just create a whole new U.S. government agency to regulate them.
Oh my gosh!
So
I mean, can you imagine?
Let's crush a free market enterprise that is super successful by bloating government even more and building a whole new government agency to regulate them.
Is Facebook a publisher or is it just a platform? I mean, and I think that really is the question at the federal level, right? If it's a platform, you can put whatever you want on it, and as long as you're not, of course, threatening someone that you're going to, of course, kill them or something like that. But if it's a platform, then it's free speech. But if it's a publisher and they're going to edit it, they're going to edit things, and technically it's a publisher. And I really think that's the question. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
Yeah,
Which one are they? Are they a platform or a publisher?
I'm not opposed to like regulation that prevents them from doing those types of things. I mean, with this whole issue with them possibly affecting the elections, with censoring people and all that kind of stuff. As long I'm fine with the government regulating censorship. Like if their whole thing is going to be a platform and free speech, then I don't think we should have government agencies breaking up, a successful business.
I tend to agree with that. I do. I mean, and another idea too is, what if Facebook is using algorithms to manipulate political speech? And that's different. And the political speech could be speech that others have posted. It clearly would be things that others have posted on the platform. And then Facebook decides, you know what? When that kind of thing is put into place, we're going to have certain people see it because we disagree with it, or certain people not see it because we disagree with it. In that case, they need to be subject to registration at the state and federal level as, an entity that's trying to influence elections. And so this is complicated.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the difference there if they start influencing things like that, where they're no longer a platform. I'd say in that instance, absolutely, they're a publisher, because they're starting to affect how the flow of information is.
That's what I think. To me,
that's a good point.
They're influencing elections based on algorithms. That's really the issue, more than the speech itself. Because the speech is free, but they are controlling who sees it. In theory, we don't really know, because no one sees their algorithms except for the people.
I feel like we do know that that's already happening, because we know that when you put out a post, that only certain people see it, and as the post gains traction, more and more people see it. So there is some sort of control mechanism in place that Facebook has put in place that's controlling who sees what you posted. So at that point, they're already kind of restricting it, and kind of muddies the waters there.
To play devil's advocate here too, not to come into defense of big bad.
No,
Facebook,
but you're a tech guy, because
Yeah.
I mean,
well, the thing is, the only reason I could see this being a good thing for us as like consumers of information is if Facebook is not in a biased way, not in a way that says we don't like what the people are putting out, we don't want this to be shown.
Right.
But if they say, hey, he would like this, he wouldn't like that.
Right.
I could see we as consumers, it just gets you things you want to see.
True. It's super manipulative, though, which is pretty fascinating. I mean, how much information they have on us. Speaking of Chris Hughes, who is Zuckerberg's roommate, and at least he was in Harvard at the time when Zuckerberg founded Facebook and so forth. We have a clip on this from The Social Network, the movie The Social Network, whereby Jesse Eisenberg has alleged to have stolen the idea, and then tells the Winklevi brothers, the Winklevoss brothers, he gives them a piece of his mind at a deposition in the movie. Let's hear that. It's kind of fun.
Forensics team to get to the bottom of this. If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
Yeah, so take that, Chris Hughes. You didn't invent Facebook. You just happen to have the right roommate at the right time, and now you're a billionaire because of it. I mean, don't you guys agree? I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me.
I feel like Facebook is like the New England Patriots when it comes to like football. It's like everyone hates them because they're so successful. It's like, just beat them. If you do something better if you don't like it.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah, to jump on that, if Facebook is so powerful, you want to know the way to kill Facebook's power? Just stop using it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. But people can't. They're hooked onto it.
Yeah.
So Denver legalizes magic mushrooms. It's hard to believe because obviously you already have recreational pot and you have medicinal pot in Denver, of course, and throughout the state of Colorado. But Denver specifically as a city has legalized magic mushrooms, and we have a really interesting clip on this. Let's hear it, Adam.
Late Wednesday, after initially trailing, a voter initiative appears to have been approved to make Denver the first U.S. city to decriminalize magic mushrooms. And it's thanks to these people at this election night party.
We all know that this goes way beyond Denver, way beyond Denver. Right now, this thing is a coast-to-coast movement.
No one told him he's not on the coast, though. He's in Denver.
From the coast of Denver.
They did say it was an election night party. So.
So, okay, millennials, what do you think about this? I mean, you guys are obviously much more free thinkers on this particular issue than I. Come on.
I think it was pretty smart word usage on this campaign. I don't know anything about the product or the mushrooms or anything about that, but to call it magic mushrooms versus like hallucinogenic mushrooms, I think like was really smart, because magic mushrooms don't sound that bad, right? It's magic. It's cool, like Jack's magic beanstalk or whatever. But magic mushrooms don't sound as bad as if you like say, well, they make you hallucinate and you could go into panic attacks and things like that.
Sure. Did AOC grow those in her garden? You know, in the backyard garden? It's going to make smoothies. What does one do with a mushroom anyway? Do you smoke it or eat it? I don't even know. I mean, what is is it eaten?
I believe so.
I have no idea. Okay. So go ahead, Adam. Come on, you've got an opinion on this. I mean, come on. Denver seems to be... Basically, Denver has made itself a destination for people who want to get high. I mean, I really feel like, in all seriousness, that's what they want to do. That's who they want to be.
Kind of like Amsterdam of the American Midwest then, or the West, wherever it is. It's not on the coast. I know that much. So.
Right. No, I understand.
But
that was kind of a squirrel comment. We need to squirrel.
No, but I mean,
you are in that chair. So
yeah, but I don't know what they're getting at, other than I guess the largest concentration of people that want to use drugs live in Denver, if that's the case. Yeah. I mean, because I think this is regulated just like marijuana is, where it's on the federal law, so they can't actually like legalize it. They can just make city ordinances or pass city laws that say, well, it's not that important, like don't arrest people for it.
Sure. And I always feel I always feel like when you legalize, first of all, they legalize marijuana, right? It's recreational marijuana, and then now you have the mushrooms. So then you use the mushrooms and it creates some sort of other ailment, and you say, you know what, I'm going to smoke pot now because, you know, I have extra depression or I have something else. I mean, who knows? I mean, what do we really know the long-term effects of all of these kind of over-the-counter drugs that they're offering? I mean, we don't. Not yet.
Yeah, I don't think so. No. Yeah, and I think it's interesting that they say this is a coast-to-coast movement. Like they're hoping that this will spread. Kind of scary, actually. Like that they're just like, well, they say, well, we're not talking about legalizing cocaine yet.
Yeah, right. And when you look in the comments, basically all the comments are about, well, we should just legalize everything. I mean, in the blog there, it's pretty fascinating the way the younger generations think about this, at least in Denver. I'm not really sure that's the case here.
It's like an anarchist perspective as far as like it's personal choice. Like if it's on the ground and I want to eat it, it's my choice.
Consequence free, right? It's consequence free, which we all know is not the case. There are definitely consequences. So next, we have the dumbest bill in America. Oh boy.
Roadkill stew. Roadkill stew. Tastes so good.
That was in honor of Ryan the Squirrel Brady. Because
please give that some context here.
Yeah, why are you talking about roadkill stew?
That's right, roadkill stew. So the dumbest bill in America comes out of California, and it's if you kill it, you grill it. So the idea is you have all these animals that are killed on the road in the state of California by cars, millions of them apparently, and the idea is currently in California, it's illegal to pick up the animal after you've killed it and take it home and consume it. So this bill allows you to pick up the animal and take it home with you, and then you can have dinner. So I guess the real question is first of all, why would you need a bill for that? Because I would think that someone who really likes venison, after they hit a deer, they're going to just do it anyway, right? I mean, come on.
I was assuming most people did that anyways. Yeah, I mean, me personally, I probably wouldn't, because
I mean, who's going to tell on you? The deer's family? Like, if you're out in the middle of nowhere? So.
It says the bill would amend state law as well as the Fish and Game Code to allow drivers of vehicles that fatally strike an animal to retroactively apply for a wildlife salvage permit at no cost within 24 hours after the collision. So you would still need to get a salvage permit. After you pick it up, you probably eaten the animal already, and then you have to go get a salvage permit 24 hours after the animal is dead.
Could you go get a salvage permit and then just start hunting deer with your car?
That's what is that what their concern is?
Yeah.
People are just going to start Mad Max style driving around California hunting?
And it gets back to the central theme of the dumbest bill in America. Why do we need a bill for this? People are they're probably already doing it nationwide, right?
Yeah.
There are people that love venison. I'm not one of them, just so you know, but there are plenty of people that love it. And there are people that eat, all kinds of different kinds of animals, and so be it if that's what they want to do.
Personal choice.
It is.
It's a bill that's creating a problem that wasn't there in the first place, too.
Right.
If you have somebody that's going to clean up a deer and make venison,
yes,
then you have a potential disaster on the side of the road that's cleared off.
Exactly. Except maybe they're concerned that as you pick up the animal, the human might get hit too. So maybe we should amend the bill to say you can.
You need to use road flares.
Right. So, if you give the Californians an idea, they're going to pass that. They're going to amend that next year, of course. So next up, we have a person tells Biden that you can hug me or kiss me anytime while he's at a rally. And of course, if you know Joe Biden's history, he has a history of doing some strange things with women throughout his career, particularly just like randomly walking up to them and smelling their hair, among other things. So here's the clip. Let's hear this. Pretty amazing.
Really does. That's very nice. Thank you.
So he's at the rally and she just randomly yells out, that he can hug her or kiss her anytime. And of course, this is in the age of Me Too. So,
Yeah.
and this guy, of course, is definitely from a generation when he thought he could do whatever he wanted to do. I mean, come on, millennials, let's hear what your thoughts are on this.
I love the long pause. Like initially I wanted to be like, oh, poor guy, like how do you respond to that? But then I was like, maybe he's holding back a bunch of questions that he really wanted to ask, like, oh, I should be a posture. What kind of conditioner do you wear, man? Got me, he piqued my interest. That's right. Then he thought, let me pause for a second here.
Adam, come on, we want the millennial perspective on this, because obviously this is an elderly gentleman at this point running for president of the United States, and he has this creepy side of him. So,
I just find it hypocritical that a crowd of his supporters are gonna So I guess going along with all that, the woman gave consent that Joe Biden can now hug or kiss her. But going along the whole Me Too thing, doesn't that mean the crowd of women that are cheering for that don't believe the woman that, or the multiple women that accused Joe Biden? So,
exactly.
Now, I believe in everybody deserves to have their
process.
Yeah, due process. I believe in due process, but
true.
We keep hearing on the left that in certain instances we need to ignore due process.
Who's the old guy on The Simpsons that's really creepy? I mean, that's who Joe Biden reminds me of at this point.
Mr. Burns.
Mr.
Burns.
Yes.
Or maybe it was the guy that talked about ice. I don't know. I'm not really sure, but that's who Joe Biden reminds me of. He's like, I've got ice cream down in the basement.
I think that's Family Guy.
That's Family Guy.
Yeah.
Figures millennials would know this, and not no doubt. So next up, we have 70-year-old man. A 70-year-old man, and it's not Joe Biden, drives a car while standing through the sunroof and is stopped accordingly. We have a clip on this. Let's hear it.
Some shocking video new at 11 shows a Florida man standing in his sunroof while driving his Cadillac down I-4. Look inside. There's nobody else in there driving that. FHP released this bizarre footage just hours ago. They tell News 6 they busted Leonard Olson, there he is, shortly after this dangerous drive played out Tuesday on I-4 in Polk County. Olson told investigators he was in cruise control and, quote, the car drives itself.
He literally is standing through the sunroof. So, I mean, how's
Arms
he driving
spread.
it? Yes.
Like,
clearly on cruise control,
Yeah.
you know, and going down a highway. It wasn't a slow road.
no. At first, I was like, "Oh, this is a bucket list item. That's pretty cool." But then it said that he had set the cruise at like 100 miles per hour or something. I was like, maybe not the best idea. This might not have been a bucket list. This might be like suicide or something.
Maybe he came from the shroom rally in Denver or something like that, you know?
But he's not wrong. He says, my car's got a giant computer in it. Everyone tells me it can do its own thing. Like, let it do it.
There are self-driving cars. Come on. I can stand through the sunroof.
Is this going to be what it's like when we actually have all self-driving cars? Like, people can just do whatever you want, like stand through the sunroof and...
Adam, come on. You got to have a comment on this. This is just cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, of course off, it's expected. It's Florida man. A little while back, there was a thing going around Facebook that was Google Florida man and then your birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a story for every day of the year of something like this happening. So,
That's right.
so I'm not shocked at all. And the guy had a plan. It was in cruise control. It drives itself. He told the officers that. So.
And a car nearby was, of course, videotaping him with their phone. And it's just fascinating to see this guy because of course, I never heard whether he was drinking or, no, hopefully he wasn't. I just think this is just something that he thought he could do because he wanted to be feeling, really great. I'm not.
The
really
article
sure.
said that he thought it would be a good opportunity to praise God.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
He thought, yeah, it was a nice sunny day, and get out there and praise Jesus real quick.
Interesting. Okay.
Most people would choose prayer, but
yes, because if the car does have the automated system where it slows down and someone kind of hits the brake in front of him all of a sudden, he's going to be thrown from that car.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
you better really hope he's praying in that. He's going to need those prayers answered.
So next up, Burger King offers depression meals. As in, if you're depressed, you go to Burger King and you eat. And we have a clip on this. This is really odd, so we definitely want you to listen to this, and we want to get your opinion on this. Let's hear it, Adam.
Not everybody wakes up happy.
Oh, boy.
Sometimes you feel sad, scared, crappy. All I ask is that you let me feel my way.
Feeling blue, kinda down. Can't wait to leave this closed-minded town.
My boss is such a freaking creep. I just told him to go himself.
Wow. I mean, so as a result of being depressed or having a bad day, you're going to go to Burger King and eat a Whopper. I mean, this is really weird. I mean, this is really strange.
Messed up.
I mean,
it's like an attack on Happy Meals, or a play on Happy Meals, I guess, if you want, for McDonald's.
Yeah.
Burger King's now we've got, you don't always have to be happy, is what they're saying. And there was a play in there, I don't know if you noticed, the Burger King slogan is, what, have it your way? Well, now you can feel your way while also eating your way.
That's right. That's right. I mean, to be fair, if you are depressed, right, there's no doubt that comfort food does make you feel better, but you might want to see a doctor too. Just saying. I mean, not Burger. And so this is kind of a weird corporate idea for Burger King. I mean, I'm just not really sure this is the best idea to put out there. I almost feel like they could get in trouble at some point, you know?
Yeah, it's obvious some people up at corporate said, hey, it's cool with the kids, let's put it out, and
exactly
their heart's not in it, you can tell.
Yeah, so you're getting attacked on social media, let's just say, and you're having a really bad day or something like that. I'm gonna go to Burger King because it's cool.
I get it. Like, it's like, all right, we're open to the idea that, like, not everyone's always happy, but taking advantage of that by putting little Happy Meal boxes out that say, like, sad or blue. You can get a blue box if you're feeling blue.
Right.
Like,
what's in the blue box, by the way?
That's a good question. Is the contents, like, you're going to give me some sad-looking burger? Just because I'm feeling sad, I get a sad-looking burger? I don't want that. I want a Happy Meal. A happy burger.
And of course, you don't get to talk to anybody because it's probably all kiosks now, right? So you're just not even going to talk to a person. So you're going to get even more depressed when you go to Burger King. So, final thoughts on this, because I really think this is kind of weird. Adam brought this to my attention, this particular clip from Burger King, and I just thought, what a strange way to advertise your corporation, to say, when you're depressed, come to our store. I don't know.
I gotta say, too, if they're taking a shot at the McDonald's Happy Meal, the Ronald McDonald Foundation does great work for like kids with cancer. And
yeah, they do.
So it seems like Burger King that's putting this out there and not actually doing anything to help.
Yes, they should put money aside from their meals and then give it to mental health advocates and so forth.
Should have been part of the commercial. I think.
I agree.
It's going to backfire. Just
tasteless.
Yeah, exactly.
Tasteless. Exactly.
So next up, we have this really cool technology. It's a drone, okay, but it's very different from any drone that you've seen. It's called MetaFly, and it imitates a fly or a bird in the way it flies. So instead of having, the typical drone appearance with multiple like helicopter
rotors,
kind of things, rotors, it actually flies. The wings move. Let's hear it. We actually have a clip on this. Let's hear this. It's incredible.
This is MetaFly. And flying it is exciting on a completely different level. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, it's level 11 exciting. Maybe even 12. MetaFly has wings that enable it to fly just like winged animals do. So it can maneuver just like winged animals do.
So you can actually invest in this on Indiegogo. We're talking about this because I personally, when I saw this, the first thing I thought was, wow, that actually looks like a bird flying towards the person in the video. And you really can't tell until it's almost right up at you. And boy, that could have massive military applications. Obviously, because you could have these things flying, a whole bunch of them, thousands of them, flying towards an army of folks, and they think, wow, why are there so many birds? Or look at those birds, and before you know it, they could have some sort of, agent that poisons people. I mean, it's scary. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the video is really neat. I mean, it looks like basically drones could be unrecognizable, like, based on this, which is, I mean, the way it flies is truly, like, amazing because it's not, like, just the hovering where you see a typical drone and the controls. I mean, the wings actually move like, a bird would. I mean, they put a lot of science into this. Yeah, it's impressive.
It looks like a big dragonfly almost. It's cool.
It does, yeah.
It does. It looks like a really large dragonfly, and then from a distance, let's just say 100 feet out, it actually looks like a bird. And then it gets closer and you're like, oh, no, that's a fly. And then, I mean, I think that'd be really cool because you can see what's coming in the future.
Yeah.
You can see, as I agree with you, that they're going to replicate all kinds of animals that fly.
I would say it's probably already here, the technology, though, because this is on Kickstarter.
Yes.
So if the technology is on Kickstarter and it's people, like, throwing in their own money, chipping $5 here and there to get it.
Exactly.
Imagine what, like, the government has, like, figured out already, the military.
Oh, my God. I can't imagine.
Cool
right, because it's the private sector.
Yeah.
And I guess Indiegogo is kind of like a Kickstarter kind of thing. It's the same concept. It's the same thing, and you can invest in it. And I guess what happens is the way it works is you invest in it, and then they send you one.
Yeah, there's different levels. Like one of the things is you can probably get a full product whenever they finish.
I didn't see how much it was, but I mean, I thought that was pretty cool because you could really harass somebody with this thing, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, look at this fly! It's a bird. Oh,
and the neat thing was
me?"
like it had like a tail, and that there was a feature on the tail that if it was raised or lowered, you could control the speed more. So they were showing videos like people were flying it in a tight living room, and it wasn't like hitting the walls. You could actually control the speed as like if a bird were trapped in your living room and how it never hits anything.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
Cool.
I mean, how can it have sensors that are that sensitive to not hit the walls? It's just fascinating. Technology is racing ahead, and that's why we talk about it every time. Well, that's it for today. Thank you, Andrew Fulginiti and Adam Katora. I'm Mark Fisher. Please join us on the next episode of Mark and the Millennials. Thanks for being here.